Hi everyone, and welcome to our Consul Google Hangout for July. My name's Rhys and I work in community management here at InterNations. And on behalf of all of us here and the Consul community right around the world, I want to say a huge thank you to you and thanks for joining us at InterNations as a Group Consul. Today what we're going to do is we're hanging out, and this is something we've been doing for new consuls over the last few months to give you an opportunity to ask some questions and hear some tips and advice from some really brilliant, highly experienced consuls and activity groups team members to help you get your group off to the best possible start with InterNations. It is a little bit different with InterNations. We do have, I guess, a higher level of support than other platforms. So the purpose of today is to introduce you to the key people who can help you and also hear some of the success stories from other consuls who've been doing some really great work. Now, over on your left, you'll see a question and answer panel. If it's not your left, it could be your right. I sometimes get them mixed up. But you'll see a question and answer panel. What I'd encourage you to do is get on there, just like Grace has. Hi, Grace, and Mustafa also, and pop in your question, and I can direct that towards some of our special guests that we have today. If you're joining us, or if you're watching this through YouTube, what I'd encourage you to do is at the bottom of the screen, you'll see a small icon that says Join the Hangout on Google+. Just click that, and that'll take you in, and you can see the question and answers that we've had throughout our Hangout today. So, without any further ado, what I want to do is introduce our guests who are joining us to help us through. Firstly, we have Christine Voss, who is the Group Consul of our Singles Group and the Joy of Life Group. And forgive me, Christine, I still can't pronounce that in French. But hey, welcome. Thanks for joining us again.
Thank you. Bonjour from Paris. I'm Christine, and I've been a member since 2012 from InterNations. I became consul of the Singles Group in 2014. And then after that, I create my own group in Joie de Vivre this year, and I'm also the ambassador of the Newcomers Group in Paris, and this year in January. So I'm always enjoy creating events for singles group, all the groups that I have, and I really like to share my experience with the new consuls, and well, to just have fun, and I wish you all enjoy the hangout today.
Good on you, Christine. Thanks very much. And we've invited Christine because some of the stuff she's doing there in Paris is really fantastic. If you've seen any of our previous videos, when she picked up the group in April last year, it was at a lower number, around 200. And since then, it's grown to over 1,300 members, and she has so many events and such creative and fun events. And today we want to get it, or activities, I should say, and we can get into that a little bit more also. Joining us also, we have three of the best activity groups team groups managers joining us. Eleanor, Catherine, and Katie. Guys, thank you.
Hi. Hey. Hi, Rhys. Hi, Christine. Thanks for joining us. And hi to all the consuls that are watching us now or later. I'm Elena, and I'm taking care of our super consuls in Asia and Oceania. That's my second Google Hangout, and I'm really happy to be here again and hoping to give you like best tips ever.
Yes, that's what we want.
Yeah, my name is Catherine. I'm taking care of our African communities. I'm really glad to be in my third Hangout today, onboarding new people again. Yeah, and looking forward to answering your questions.
And I'm Katie. I do Central and Eastern Europe. First Google Hangout. Happy to be a newbie. Super excited to be here.
Good on you, Katie. Thank you, guys. And so it is a sweltering hot 30,000 degrees here in Munich. So maybe we can hear something a little bit about Christine's upcoming summer activities in Paris, because it's definitely time, well, at least in this part of the world, to have some outdoor activities. So let's get straight into it. We've already got a couple of questions up there, and I'm really excited to see one from Akinyi Adonga, who is Grace, joining us, our ambassador from Nairobi. But first off, we have a question from Mustafa. Now, he's one of our consuls from Dakar, and he's asked a really good question that's kind of got two parts to it. The first part is, if I can interpret a little bit, can InterNations activities partner with other social groups or organisations to run activities together? So that would be the first question I think would be really beneficial for you, Mustafa. The second one is, can individuals as part of the activity pool expenses? So groups team, I'll pass this over to you. What advice do you have for Mustafa?
Hey Mustafa, great question. So our answer would be, if you are the organizer of an InterNations activity, you should be the host for your group. This is what makes InterNations special. You are the host for your group, you welcome everyone, you try to guide them through the activity. So if you are the organizer of the InterNations activity and not of the other group that you would like to take part in, then you can partner up with a different organization. For example, you and your group join an already organized dancing class, yoga class, or whatever. If you are the organizer of the second group as well, like you're having a university group or something, and you are the host there as well, we would say no, because you have to work as the host and bring the InterNations community together. I hope this helps.
Great. And the second part of the question is to do with pooling expenses. Eleanor, can you maybe talk a bit about that?
Yeah, sure. We always recommend, and that's what usually works best, it's to split up the bill at the end of the activity. If you go to a restaurant to have some drinks, just try to split it up. So, but it's important that you mention this on your activity description. So all the attendees, all the members coming, they will know that beforehand, and so it will be clear. I mean, we always say be transparent, be as clear as possible, concerning all these payment issues. That helps a lot.
Great, thanks, Eleanor. Hey, Christine, for you, do you guys at your activities, do you and your participants split the costs? Like, say, if you go for dinner, will everyone kind of pay for themselves?
We do both, actually. It depends on the situation. Because some people in my group, they don't drink alcohol. And there are some who drink. So it depends really on the situation, and depends where the restaurant is. Because sometimes it could be quite expensive. It depends middle of Champs-Élysées, for example. So no, it depends on the situation. We don't really have a rule on that. So.
Yeah, okay. And then what about if, say, someone's booking, or you, Christine, are booking tickets, say, for a particular event or something, will you manage that and then coordinate, get the money from the participants and pass it on, or will you encourage participants to get in and buy their own?
I would encourage them to buy on their own. I would do that. But if they need advance payment, then I would make sure that they pay in advance. They pay me in advance, then I will get the tickets for them, or they will do it themselves. So they are given a choice.
Yeah.
So whatever it is, I will not get myself in in a difficult situation financially if really need to buy advance tickets. So they have to be responsible for their own tickets.
Yeah, fair enough. And I love seeing on your group wall when you kind of get on and say, guys, don't tell me I didn't warn you. Tickets are selling out fast.
I will send them 2 weeks in advance. I said, please get your tickets now if you haven't got them yet. And don't tell me I didn't warn you. I would say that.
And that's all you can do,
then
right?
They will come back to me and said, you didn't warn me. Yes, I did.
It's all up there.
And it worked. It worked. So that's good.
Yeah, good one. All right, thanks, Christine. And activity groups team, this kind of leads towards this prepayment thing, So, like in Christine's case, she encourages them to get them themselves. But I guess sometimes when you're dealing with a restaurant, maybe you do need to prepay the restaurant or something like that. What tips do you have for a consul who finds themselves in this situation?
Yeah, as Christine already mentioned, try to avoid any financial risk if possible. So, as she said, ensure maybe that it's possible to cancel with the venue, and try to set a deadline with the attendees so they can pay you beforehand, put it on your description or send them a personal message, etc. It also helps to keep the group manageable. Like, of course, if it's your first time or first activities, don't try to have an activity for maybe like 60 people. Like, just reduce it to 10, 20, I don't know, depends on the activity. And for example, what you could do is to try to ask for confirmation by creating a second guest list. For example, you can ask to the members on your description to send you like another email or like a personal message, a private message, sorry, like letting them know, hey, then you will be counted as an attendee. And of course, like then you can provide them with the possibility to pay directly the venue, or like to transfer you the money. So once you have the money, or you confirmed with the venue that this and this person already paid, then you have like your second guest list, like the official, just, yeah, as the official one.
Yeah, that usually works really well. I have a few consuls that do that often, especially if it's something that might be a travel group, or they're going to some sort of activity where it's a larger expense. And they'll usually put bank details or say, hey, when you sign up, I'll send you the bank details. And then also what works really well is if it's an open-ended guest list, sometimes they say, first 10 people to prepay me are the 10 that are confirmed and get a come. That's a great way to remove all financial risk off of you and still throw a really cool activity.
Yeah, good tips, guys. Thanks. And I think that's a really good way to wrap that up. It's kind of to avoid the financial risk to you, just like Christine also said, and that's the number one thing. So Mustafa, thank you for your question. That was really great. Now we've got a question from Grace in Nairobi. Grace, thanks. Great to have you watching. I want to hear what you think after this. Actually, you've asked a question that is: are InterNations activity groups allowed to work with local sponsors? And for example, you're in the food club, and some wine brands are coming to you saying, "Can we partner up and sponsor you for some dinner you host?" In order to do like a wine and food pairing partnership, can you do this? This is a great question, and it does come up from time to time. So activity groups team, what kind of advice would you have for Grace?
Sure. Well, of course, if you can find a sponsor that will help you out with your activity, we 110% support offering the best activity, the highest quality you can to members. The only thing that you need to keep in mind is to not use the same sponsor repeatedly, because then it could seem, even if it's not your intention, like there is a commercial tie, like you're promoting this one business. So what we suggest is just to vary up the sponsor, go to a different business, different venue, and change it up that way. But hey, if you can do that, more power to you. Good job.
That's a great idea, actually. Yeah.
Yep. Fantastic. Thanks, guys. And hey, great, Akinya, Grace, thank you for your question. It is something that I've seen you guys do so well there in Nairobi. If anyone is ever browsing the InterNations calendar and finds themselves in the Nairobi community, have a look at Grace and Fabrizio's events, because they are really well negotiated. They get some great deals. So if you can carry any of that over into your activities, why not?
Yeah, excited to see the development now of the InterNations Group.
Okay, good tip. So one of the things, I guess, for new consuls sometimes is that getting a group off the ground can sometimes be a little bit difficult. Sometimes if you set up a group and maybe you do your first activity and maybe not many people come, or maybe no one comes, and sometimes that's enough to go, I don't want to do this again. But we kind of see that it's the consuls that persist even after the first one, even if it isn't fantastic. They'll do the next one and the next one, and then things start to go their way. Actually, Catherine, we had some great news today, actually, with Teddy and the Wonder, right? Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, we saw that Teddy, he was joining us 3 months ago as a new consul. He also joined our very first Hangout, asked some questions there. He had a successful first activity with a few, I think 4 or 5 people joining him for a golf session, and the pictures looked like they really had fun there. So he posted his second activity afterwards and also showed us pictures and said he really enjoyed his time. So I'm looking forward to seeing more from that. So that's our number 1 tip. Just keep going and try out more, even if you don't see so many attendance at your first attendees. just continue and try to get feedback from people, try to encourage them to bring their own ideas in. If you see someone is especially committed or interested, onboard him as a second consul. Just get support from other people as well. Get in touch with other people in the community, ask them what could we do, where are nice spots, nice locations, what can we do with the group, and try to keep going.
Yeah, perfect. Thanks, Catherine. And it always really makes us smile when we see, because we had Teddy along to a hangout maybe, I think a couple of months ago, 3 months ago, and he was struggling with his first one, and it's just so great to see, I guess, the progress and that things are really ticking along there. On that point that Catherine also made around getting ideas from your group for other activities, I think that's such a great point. And last month we had a hangout with Thomas Van Hel, who's the consul of our Burgers and More group in Vienna. And one of the things he said was, out of the 13 or so activities that I've hosted, only 2 of them were his own idea. All the rest kind of came from the group. So it's kind of, he in a way is facilitating his group to do the things that they love to do in Vienna. Always involving burgers, if not burgers, some kind of meat product. So, hey, and that, a good question to follow up on that is, Christine, for you, we know that, I guess, you started with us in April last year. You had a group that, I guess, wasn't doing so great. How was that? How was that experience?
Well, it's the singles group, actually. When I just joined, I decided, when I look at the membership, it was about 200 people, and I thought, this is Paris, and it's not possible. Only 200 people and no events. And I thought, this is, well, I've got to do something. So I joined the council, and I have to say, the first event that I did, I was a bit apprehensive. I think, well, nobody knew me yet, and I don't know if it's going to be successful and if they're going to like my event. But I said, well, what the hell? I just go ahead and I'm just going to do it and put the event on. Some catchy word like, come dancing the whole night away, or something like that, and put a nice picture on it. And I said dress code, glamour, chic glamour. So sort of bring people in. And I was really surprised when I get the people who signed up, and I thought, okay. And the day itself, I came very early, just there to make sure that everybody's not before me. I have to be the first. And I got my list ready. And when I see the people who actually came and the people who actually signed up, I was really, really amazed, and I was really, really very happy actually that it actually worked out. So all that worry was really for nothing. And the evening turned out really very well, and that sort of kept me going on. And from then on, there was no stopping me. I was just creating more and more events, interesting events, So now the membership has just grown to 1,300, about 1,300, I think.
Oh, that's really great, and we're so happy for you. And I think at the moment, like you said at the start when you first came, that you weren't really well known, and now you've got your second group, and you're the newcomers ambassador. And I think it's safe to say things have changed now. I think you are probably quite well known in the international community there in Paris. You're certainly quite well known here in the Munich HQ.
Really?
I'll tell you that much. Yeah.
Thank you.
Hey, so let's take another question from the Q&A panel. We have Marianne Steele, great to be in touch, who's the consul of the Mind, Body and Soul group here in Munich. And her question is it necessary to provide the InterNations Group records of participants list who actually showed up at the activity? So does Marianne need to give us any info about the numbers of people who came and who was attended, I guess? So groups team, what should Marianne do here?
I'll take it. Marianne, I actually have Munich, so if you ever have a question, you're going to talk to me. Hey. Very simply, no. You don't have to let us know if 20 people signed up and only 15 came. We don't need that information. Something to keep in mind is if you ever do find yourself dealing with a serial no-shower with one member or another member, then do let us know, because we can always reach out to these people and take steps, because we want to help you and we don't want you to have to deal with that. So if you do ever find yourself, though, having to deal with a repeated problematic member perhaps, or situation where it's always constant, no-shows without canceling their attendance, then just write me, well, in this case it'd be me, write me an email, and then we'll chat about it. But otherwise, no, don't worry about having to tell us all that information.
Cool, thanks, Katie. And you've touched on a good point there around if a consul does have, I guess, a problem with a member. I mean, a no-showing member is one thing, but I guess if a member causes you any kind of problems or is, you know, heaven forbid, aggressive towards you in any way, what should you do there? Christine, have you ever had an issue with a member that you've needed our support with?
Christine?
Oh, sorry. It was for me, the question.
Yeah. The question
Yes.
the question was, you know, have you ever had a challenge with a member?
Yes, I do. I did. That was my second newcomers meeting.
Okay.
And of course, the newcomers are only for newcomers, definitely. And this person just came, and I know him from another group, and he's not a newcomer. So he came in, and I said, hey, you're not in the list. He said, yeah, but I'm here anyway. It doesn't matter, right? I said, well, actually, it doesn't matter, but because, you know, it's only for newcomers. So anyway, I didn't want to make a scene, so I said, okay, you can come in and join
Sure.
the party. But later on, I found out that he was a bit too, what I say, imposing on some of the girls.
Okay.
And I thought that was not appropriate. So anyway, that was the first and the last time. I told him off, and I said, you should not come anymore. And he didn't come.
Christine, for that, I mean, and that's a good example of where we say to any consul, if we want to take any kind of risk or any, I guess, of these awkward situations off you where you need to deal with this, and in that situation, you've done exactly the right thing. You've said, you know, come in, join the party, and then manage it as best you could. Any situation after like that, send the activity groups team, these lovely 3 people here and more, an email, and just let us know, because we can then follow up with the member and then take appropriate action.
Okay.
Hey Marianne, so thanks for your question. We have another question here from. Now let's have a look. Where's Colin's question? Colin's asked a question about, here it is. He's from Canary Islands. Colin, welcome. I'll tell you the first question we've ever taken from Canary Islands. He's organising a lunch at a local restaurant and is arranging for a fixed cost menu and is arranging members to pay on the day for the fixed cost menu, but wants the members to pay separately for their drinks. On the day. So activity groups team, in this case, what should Colin do?
Well, what he wants to do is okay, like no problem at all. Just as mentioned before, like make sure this is like clear on the activity description, so everybody knows like they will pay like this fixed price, and then like he can use like the other tab where like for the price, and then he can say plus your own drinks, like what you're drinking.
Good tip.
And that would be like clear enough.
In this case, I would also recommend him to take care of it, because it might be that his guest list on InterNations is a bit bigger than the people that actually show up. So he should try to make a deal with the location that he doesn't confirm to them that there will be 20 people and then only 10 or 15 show up. So first ask your members, like we already said, to send your confirmation that they will really show up, and second, avoid any fixed deals with the location, especially if it's the first activity. Yeah.
Good tips. Thanks, guys. And thanks a lot, Colin, for your question. And it kind of brings us into this thing, and Catherine's point brings us into this thing around no-shows at your activities. So I guess you put in all this effort in setting up your first activity or your ongoing activities, and then sometimes, you know, not everyone who signed up will actually show up. Now, there's a whole range of things, and it's not just an InterNations thing, it's a mankind thing, actually. It's all of us are faced with this. I mean, there are things we can do before the activity and after the activity to make sure you can minimise the people that don't show up. And so maybe Christine, I mean, in your groups, what kind of things do you do to really minimise the number of people who don't come? Fire brigade. I'm not sure if you heard me, Christine, but I just wanted to ask you, what kind of things do you do to make sure that everyone who signs up to your activity actually shows up?
Yeah, sorry, I heard it. Okay, what I do is I usually, about 2 weeks before the event, I will send them a little message, a very friendly message, to say that, especially when they have to buy a ticket, and I will say, okay, have you got your tickets yet? And if you don't, please do it now, and I will send them a link where they can get their tickets in advance, to make that really simple for them. Yeah? So, and then I will send a little message at the back and say, behind, I said, okay, don't tell me I didn't warn you, because they will come back and say, Christine, you didn't tell me. So I said, no, they often do that, and it works. And it works quite often, because they do feel a bit, what do you call it, embarrassed that things are not done when I'm really sending them messages like that. And after that, 2 days before the event, I will send them another message, another friendly message, to remind them, you got your tickets. If not, then do it again. Go buy it today, and don't forget to bring it with you on the day itself, because sometimes they forget. It happens. So and that works very well. So far, I've that's one good way, a good tip of making sure that they actually come for the event.
Good one, Christine. Thank you. And I guess for the groups team, I mean, you guys look after communities all around the world. Like, what kind of things do you see your really good consuls do to help kind of minimise the no-show rate?
Yeah, I can take it. Like Elena already said, that she would recommend you to have a second official guest list at home, like on your computer, where you register all the people that confirm to you separately in a separate message. But I think what Christina also said is really important. It also depends on the personality of the consul. Interacts with the people. Like one consul in the last hangout said, Miguel from Madrid, that he's talking to them like he's talking to friends, making it personal, making it sound special, and then they feel they just have to go. Doesn't work in all cases, but it's something that makes your group special and unique.
And I'll add a point, because something that I'm a personal fan of, in a consul of mine that has the Zurich Burger Group does this, and it works so well for him because he has a 90 to 100% attendance rate, which is amazing. He always adds at the end of the activity description something about, you know, it's only clicking attend if you are actually committing, and his words are usually along the lines of, clicking attend is not like the like button on Facebook. This means that you actually want to come, so please don't just like this activity. You really only sign up if you're going to commit. And often putting a description at the end, or a little sentence at the end of your description, can really help, especially if a member is new and they might not be entirely sure how activity group works. So just clarifying that helps a lot.
Great. Thanks, Katie, and thanks, Catherine. So we're coming towards the end of our 30 minutes today. And so I guess before we go, from each of you, from Christine, from Eleanor, from Catherine, from Katie, what would be your one top tip for a new consul who's just started? What would you tell them? Christine?
Well, for me, it would be organize events that you enjoy, that you think you will have great fun, something that you like, not anybody else but yours. So in that way, it will be simpler for you to create the event, and simple for everybody. So that's my biggest tip.
Brilliant, Christine. Thank you. And the group's team?
Yeah, as Christine just said, do something you enjoy, have fun at your activity, and don't worry, like at the beginning, if you don't have lots of attendees, if they had fun with you, they will just tell other members and they will come next time. So that's it's cool. So that's always happening in life. So they will spread the rumor. So just have fun and keep it simple. Try to be simple also in your description. Try to post pictures after that. So the members that, for example, didn't remember to sign off, they saw oh, they really had fun. So next time I'll be sure I'll go. Yeah, and be friendly, as Christine already mentioned. And use a wow to interact with all the members after your first activity, so they see it's not only about the activity, but the group is alive. So, yeah, I would say.
Yeah, and don't hesitate for your first activity if you're getting your group started or just picking up from one that's been dead for a while. Take advantage of the forums. Post something in there in your local community forum and just saying, hey, check it out, new activity coming up, group's getting started again. Just don't include details like the venue because those are for Albatross venue only, but feel free to include the link to your activity so more people can see it and come.
Great.
Yeah, and whenever you experience a problem or have a question, don't forget to get in touch with us. Don't hesitate. There's no stupid questions. We are looking forward to your questions.
Yes.
Excellent. Good on you guys. And that's a really great point to finish on. So on behalf of us, Christine and the group's team, thank you for joining. All the best with your first activities. And to reiterate Catherine's point, if at any time you need support or ideas or you just want to say hi, you can get the activity groups team on activity-groups@internations.org. Thanks again and all the best.
Bye. Bye.